Home buying is weighing on so many Americans. If you've been dreaming of owning a house but feel like that dream is becoming more distant, you're not alone. In today's market, the numbers can seem overwhelming. For example, the median down payment in the US has now reached a staggering $63,188. That's an increase of 7.5% from last year. And it's hard not to wonder how many people actually have an extra 60 grand just lying around waiting to be used for a down payment. There's a lot more to this story than just that one number. Home prices are soaring, mortgage rates are fluctuating unpredictably, and inflation continues to put its bite into everyday expenses. It's almost like you're trying to climb a mountain, and every time you think you're getting close to the top, another obstacle appears in your path. Today, I want to break down what's really happening in the housing market, why down payments are becoming so expensive, and what options you might have if you're struggling to come up with that kind of cash. We'll also talk about whether there are any viable ways to buy a home without having to compromise too much with the bank. Let's start by taking a closer look at the bigger picture. The driving force behind these sky-high down payments is the consistent rise in home prices. According to data from Redfin, the median home sale price in December was around $428,000. To put that into perspective, that's nearly $500,000 for a home. And because down payments are typically calculated as a percentage of the home's purchase price, it follows that as the price of homes increases, so too does the amount you need to put down up front. Traditionally, the benchmark was a 20% down payment, but in today's market, who really has $85,000 just sitting in their savings account ready to be used on a home purchase? In reality, most buyers are ending up putting down closer to 16.3% on average. Even that lower percentage, however, represents a significant financial hurdle for many prospective homeowners. For instance, a recent survey by Bankrate revealed that 81% of aspiring homeowners see the down payment and closing costs as their biggest obstacles. In fact, over half of those surveyed describe these costs as a very significant problem. This comes as no surprise given the current economic climate, where high inflation and stagnant wages make saving even more challenging. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, great, so I'm never going to be able to afford a home, let me offer you some hope. There are actually several mortgage options out there that allow you to put down much less money or even nothing at all in certain situations. Let's break some of those down. For veterans and active duty service members, VA loans are a fantastic option since they often require 0% down. Similarly, USDA loans are available for those buying in rural areas, also offering a zero down payment option. Then there are FHA loans, which are designed to help first-time buyers, or those with lower credit scores or incomes, and these typically require just a 3.5% down payment. It's interesting to note that more people are turning to these alternative options. In December, for instance, 15% of homebuyers opted for an FHA loan, a notable increase from the decade low of 10% seen in 2022. Additionally, VA loans have seen an uptick as well, largely because the market has shifted from the multiple offer frenzy of the past, giving buyers who qualify for government-backed loans a fighting chance. However, while these low down payment options can make home buying more accessible, they aren't without their drawbacks. When you put down less money, you're essentially borrowing more, which means your monthly mortgage payments will be higher. Additionally, lenders typically offer the best interest rates and terms to those who can make a larger down payment. If you fall below that 20% threshold, you'll likely be required to pay for private mortgage insurance, or PMI. This isn't a payment that reduces your loan balance. Rather, it's an extra cost that can add anywhere from 0.5% to 1.5% of your loan amount per year. To give you a sense of scale, if you're borrowing $300,000, PMI could add an extra $1,500 to $4,500 each year to your expenses. So, while the idea of a low down payment loan is attractive, it's important to consider these additional costs and how they affect your overall budget. Now, let's talk about what you can do if you're determined to save up for a down payment despite these challenges. There are a number of strategies that can help you speed up the process of accumulating the cash you need. One option is to look into down payment assistance programs, which are offered by many states and cities. These programs might provide grants or low-interest loans specifically designed to help with down payment costs. It can be incredibly worthwhile to research what's available in your local area, because you might find resources that can substantially lower the financial barrier to entry. Another strategy is to be smart about where you keep your savings. Consider putting your down payment money into a high-yield savings account. While the returns may not be huge, even a slightly higher interest rate can help your savings grow faster over time, which is essential when every dollar counts. Beyond just where you park your money, think about ways to boost your income, whether it's picking up freelance work, engaging in gig economy jobs, or selling items you no longer need. Every extra dollar can contribute to your down payment fund. It might also help to review your monthly expenses and see where you can cut back, perhaps canceling unused subscriptions, reducing takeout spending, or rethinking any unnecessary expenses. And don't overlook the possibility that your employer might offer homebuyer assistance as part of their benefits package. It's always worth asking your HR department if any such programs exist, as these can provide a nice boost when you're trying to save up. It's also important to address the question that many of you might be asking: is now really a good time to buy a house? The answer to that isn't cut and dry. It really depends on your individual circumstances and financial readiness. On one hand, the housing market isn't nearly as hyper-competitive as it was during the peak of the frenzy a few years ago. Back then, buyers were often engaged in bidding wars, sometimes paying above asking prices just to secure a home. Today, however, there is more room for negotiation. With fewer buyers competing for every property, you might find that sellers are more willing to negotiate on price or terms. On the other hand, interest rates remain relatively high compared to recent years, which means that even if you manage to negotiate a good deal on the purchase price, the cost of borrowing is still significant. Many experts are predicting that mortgage rates could drop later this year, so some buyers are choosing to wait in hopes of refinancing or locking in a lower rate once the market adjusts. There are also longer-term considerations to keep in mind. For instance, buying a home isn't just a financial decision, it's a lifestyle choice. Owning a home means you have the freedom to make changes and improvements, and it often provides a sense of stability and permanence. But it also comes with responsibilities like maintenance, property taxes, and potential market fluctuations that could affect your investment over time. It's important to weigh these factors carefully against your current financial situation and your long-term goals. If you're financially secure and have done your homework, buying a home now might make sense. If not, it might be more strategic to continue saving and waiting for a more favorable market condition. Another thing to consider is the emotional aspect of home buying. It can be stressful and sometimes disheartening when it feels like every step forward is met with a new challenge, whether it's a higher down payment, the dreaded PMI, or simply the pressure of competing against other buyers. But remember, every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow financially. Even if you're not quite ready to buy a home today, the process of preparing yourself financially will pay off in the long run, whether you eventually buy a house or decide to pursue another path. Let's not forget about the importance of timing in this whole equation. The housing market is known for its cycles. We've seen periods of rapid growth followed by slower periods or even declines. While no one can predict the future with absolute certainty, understanding the current trends can help you make a more informed decision. Right now, while prices and rates are high, the market is also evolving. More sellers are beginning to understand that pricing their homes realistically can attract serious buyers, and this could lead to a shift in the overall market dynamics over time. One thing that I always encourage viewers to do is to consult with experts. Whether it's a trusted real estate agent, a financial advisor, or a mortgage broker, getting professional advice tailored to your specific situation can make a huge difference. These professionals have their fingers on the pulse of the market and can offer insights that go beyond the basic numbers. They can help you understand not only the current state of the market, but also what trends might be on the horizon. Sometimes, just having a conversation with someone who has been through the process multiple times can offer reassurance and practical tips that you might not have considered on your own. And while we're on the subject of expert advice, let's talk about the value of staying informed. The world of real estate is constantly changing, with new programs, shifting interest rates, and evolving market conditions. It's a good idea to regularly check reliable sources, whether that's through trusted news outlets, reputable real estate websites, or even forums where homebuyers share their experiences. By staying updated, you can catch any opportunities or changes that might make buying a home more feasible, or conversely, signal that it might be wise to hold off for a bit longer. You can overcome the obstacles and eventually find yourself in a home that you can truly call your own.